Thanks for your purchase of your portable building. This is a video basically explaining our installation and the process of how these buildings go together. So first off, we'll start with delivery. You've either chosen to come down to our yard and pick it up yourself. We'll give you a call when your building's ready to go. Or secondly, you've chosen an option for delivery and you've either arranged that with us or with a third-party company. Just we'll contact you when it's done and we'll go from there. Okay. So now you have your package at home. Your package is going to come together. It's going to be all banded together with metal straps. Grab your pair of tin snips and cut all the straps open. Offset all your pieces off to the ground. You're going to have your cardboard box. We'll go over this in a minute about the parts and pieces that are in there. If you have a front or a rear wall kit, those pieces will all be shrink wrapped together in a package so you don't mess things up. Your metal cladding is on the very bottom of your package. Sometimes you'll notice there's a different color sheet or the same color sheet. The top sheet is what we call our cover sheet. This sheet is strictly used just to protect your package during transportation from forklift or damage. You don't have to use this sheet on the building. You're welcome to if you would like to, but it is not part of the actual order. So you're free to use this for your own preference. Now you got your package at your place. You're ready for your installation. So we're going to go over the parts and pieces of your package. In your cardboard box, you're going to find a whole bunch of parts. You'll find a little bag, and in that bag is self-tapping gasketed screws. They got a rubber grommet on there. These do not need to be pre-drilled at all. They're a self-tapping drill. You'll also be given the choice of two anchors. We would have discussed this with you upon ordering. If you're going into concrete, you're going to be given a 7-inch concrete wedge anchor. You use a 1/2-inch Hilti drill bit to drill this into your slab. Or if you're going into asphalt, dirt, or gravel, you'll be given a 30-inch rebar anchor. This gets sledgehammered through the base rail. In that same box, you'll find a bunch of 9-inch dowels. You're wondering what these are for? These are for connecting your rafter to your posts. As well as we have 24-inch corner bracing. This goes in the corner of most rafters, and the smaller buildings it also goes in the center. In that same package, you're going to be given, obviously you're going to have your posts, whatever length of post you got, that will be there. You're going to have your metal cladding. You're also going to have your rafters. They'll be on that package. If you've ordered an A-frame building, you're going to be given galvanized hat track. That's your metal strapping. You will also have your base rails with the dowels pre-welded on. Then we'll move over to the trims. So you're going to be given a trim for this is to finish off the edge of the roof lines. We'll go over the installation of this later, but this will be a 3.5 by 1.5 inches. This goes on the edge of the roof line. If you've ordered sides or front or backs, you'll be given 3.5 by 3.5 trim. This is for the corner of the buildings. And if you've ordered an A-frame, just at the very end there, you'll see you'll have a hat track, or your ridge cap. That also caps the top of the roof line. Okay, so you're ready to start assembling your rafters to your posts. Lay all your rafters out on the ground, grab your posts, as well as your dowels. Those 9-inch dowels we were talking about, you're going to slide that into the bottom of the rafter. It will stop. Once it's at its position, grab one of your screws, put a screw in the top and also on the other side. Then grab your post, slide your post into the dowel. Once it's in, grab another screw, put a screw on this side as well as on the opposite side. Then you'll find your 24-inch corner braces. You're going to put your corner brace on the rafter. And we like to see the corner braces get screwed into the posts. So you're going to put one screw here and one screw on the underside, one screw up top and one screw on the underside there as well. If your building is 14 or smaller, you also have another one of these. This is going to go directly in the center of the rafter. This will get screwed on both sides of the rafter as well. If your building's over 14, you'll notice there's a collar tie already on there that is welded in for support. Okay, so you've been given your rafters and your posts are all together. You'll notice on each rafter there's a black pencil mark in the middle. Make sure that you have that black pencil mark facing the same direction as you set your frames up. In case there's any variance in the bending process, this will make sure all your rafters are equal on either side. So if you have a rear wall kit on your building, you need to clad that rear wall. One tip ahead of time is to pre-lay that sheet out. So if, for example, if this is your sheet, you're going to grab that sheet. If your building is 12 feet wide, that sheet will also be 12 feet long. You're going to lay that sheet right on top of a rafter. Then you're going to grab your pencil and you're going to scribe that rafter slope on that sheet. This will give you the abilities to cut this sheet without having to go up and down a ladder to measure the angle. It's just a nice tip that makes things so much easier for you on the installation. Okay, so you have all your rafters and posts together. Now you're going to want to grab your base rails out of your kit. We recommend grab your base rails, set them side by side. Make sure your dowels line up to each other. You do not want to flip one of your base rails and find out your dowels are offset to each other. Bring your base rails roughly to their location. Grab your tape measure, and if your building is a 12-foot wide, hook on the outside to outside and make sure it's 12 feet. If your building's 20 feet wide, do the same thing. Make sure you're 20 feet. Find that location is good. Once you do that, grab a long tape measure and corner square your building. This is very crucial to make sure your building is square. This will make your installation 10 times easier. Once you've determined your location for your base rails, you're going to want to anchor them down. Once again, we have two different anchor styles. We have a 7-inch concrete wedge anchor. This would go into that pre-drilled hole that you've drilled into your concrete slab, that 1/2-inch hole. You would drop your anchor in and then tighten it up with a wrench. If you're going into asphalt, gravel, or dirt, you're going to grab your 30-inch rebar anchor, insert it into the hole, and sledgehammer it down. Some customers of ours have been worried about the wind. So one recommendation here is some clients will dig a hole about the size of a fence post hole, put 2 or 3 bags of wet concrete in there, and wet set this pin into that concrete. That works really well for wind and for uplift. So now your base rails are anchored down to the ground. Then you're going to grab your post, which is now attached to the rafter. You're going to grab it with a friend. You're going to stand that post up completely. You're going to grab your post and you're going to bring it over to your base rail and slide it over top of your dowel. At this point, you're going to look at your building, the land of your building. If it rolls a bit, there is some variance here. You can pull your post up or down a little bit on this dowel to correct the lay of the land. Once you're happy with that location, you're then going to grab your self-tapping screw. You're going to put 1 screw here and 1 screw here on both sides again. Do that all the way around, along with all your rafters, and now you officially have your frame set up. Okay, so you have your rafters and your posts assembled on your frame at this point. Now you're ready to start working on your roofing. In your package, remember we talking about you having galvanized hat track. This acts as metal strapping for your building. So we recommend you lay this out on the ground ahead of time. If your building is 20 feet long, your galvanized hat track will be 21 feet long. It's meant to hang over the front of the building by 6 inches and 6 inches on the back. If your building's longer than this, your galvanized hat track will meet at a rafter. It's pre-cut for you to meet at a rafter. So grab your hat track out of your package, lay it down beside your base rail. Grab your tape measure and find the 6-inch mark. Then scribe that 6-inch mark onto the hat track and do this for each dowel along the whole base rail. This gives you the capabilities when you're ready to bring this piece of hat track up on the roof to lay it out and to screw it down. It'll keep your posts nice and square and plumb together instead of wobbling back and forth. This will stiffen your building up dramatically. So now you have your frame all assembled. You have your hat track all laid out like we just did on the ground. You're going to then transfer your hat track up on the roof. Once you got your hat track on the roof, you're going to say, where am I going to place it on my rafters? You have that 6-inch mark already, so you know how far back and forth to place that. Find those marks. From the center of the building, we recommend you go down about 2 or 3 inches from the center. And at the very edge of the building, we recommend you stay about 2 to 3 inches from the edge as well. This will determine the location of your hat track on the top and the bottom. Then to find the center, all you're going to do is equally balance out those other runs of hat track. Typically, it's about 24 inches on center. Now to screw your hat track down, it's very simple. You're going to grab your self-tapping screws. You're going to put a screw on this side and on this side of the hat track the whole way down. Once you got your top and your bottom done, then fill the middles and you're done with your hat track. Okay, so I'm just going to show you on our demo unit here how to install the roof sheeting for your A-frame building. So we already have the galvanized hat track on at this point. Then you're going to find out on your metal package which sheets are for your roof. You're going to bring those up on the roof. You're going to grab your sheet, you're going to find out it's going to go flush with the edge of the hat track. You're allowed to have that sheet down a little bit depending if you're wanting to install rafters or not on the building itself. So you're going to lay that sheet out exactly where you want. You can have a 3 or 4 inch overhang at the bottom, that's totally fine. Then you're going to grab a screw and you're going to find out where to screw it. We call these the high ribs and these are the valleys. So in the valley, we like to see you put 1 screw per valley. You can do it here, here, or here, it doesn't matter. Then once you got your first sheet screwed and tacked down, your next sheet will then knuckle underneath the previous sheet by 1 knuckle. And you'll work your way down the whole building. At the very end, you may have to cut your last sheet to finish your roofing off. So you got your roofing sheeting done. Then you're going to grab your ridge cap. This piece is a different color than the roof, but typically your ridge cap's the same color as your roofing panels. You're going to put your ridge cap on your building. It's going to cover that joint in the middle of the building. For screwing down your ridge cap, you're going to put 1 screw in every high rib the whole way down. So you'll have a screw here, a screw here, a screw there, the whole way down. Your ridge cap will overlap. You'll have enough ridge cap to cover the whole center of the building. Okay, so you got all your roofing panels on. Now the last part is just to put your trim on. This either comes in white or black. You've chosen that color ahead of time. The purpose to the trim, there isn't much purpose to it. It's just a beauty kit. It takes the hard edge away from the metal, from your sight lines. So what you're going to do is you're going to grab your piece of trim out of your package. It's 10 feet long. It's either white or black. You're going to place that piece of trim up on your roof. You're going to meet it in the center, and I'll show you on our demo unit here what to do. It's going to run long and hang long past. You're then going to grab your square. You're going to make a straight line down, flush with the edge of your metal. You're then going to grab your tin snips and you're going to cut that trim around. Once again, we'd like to thank you for your purchase of your metal building. If you have any questions or concerns as far as the installation goes, feel free to give us a call anytime at 604-799-8282 or get contact with us on our website. Thank you.